All right, welcome back to part 2 of programming the perfect workout. So now that we have determined our specific goal or our main goal or secondary goal, so on, we need to now construct the workout and find out what can we actually get accomplished. Now, most people do not think about things like this, but it's important to understand that you may have a certain goal that might be unrealistic for your lifestyle. You may be someone who's very busy at your job and you don't have a lot of time to get to the gym. So you may be expecting to do some type of bodybuilding routine or putting on size, but at the same time, you don't have the time to put into the gym to get that goal accomplished, okay? Now, it's not that your goal cannot necessarily be accomplished, it's going to take extra longer time. Please also understand is regardless if your goal is for fat loss, to lose 30 pounds in say 30 days is just fucking retarded, okay? That's just not gonna happen, all right? Now, I take that back. There is one way you possibly could do it. You could do what I call the teenage prom queen diet. And so what you're gonna do is you're gonna eat salads every day. And then after your salad, you're gonna throw up. And you're gonna have to weigh your throw up to make sure that you threw up more than what you just ate. And then you see your energy levels are going to drop drastically because you don't have any nutrition because you keep throwing up. And so you're going to have to sniff a whole bunch of cocaine to get through the day. Now there's a very good possibility that you'll lose 30 pounds, probably 30 pounds of fat and muscle and hair, but you'll lose 30 pounds. Also, it's probably the most unsafe way in the world to lose 30 pounds. So I highly do not recommend doing the teenage prom queen diet. And it's the same thing for muscle, all right? So if you come to me or come to yourself and look at a bodybuilding magazine or look at anything on the internet and think to yourself that, man, I'll do this workout, put on about 20 pounds in a month, I'll be swole. No, you're not, okay? It doesn't work that way, okay? So you have to be realistic with your goals, be realistic with yourself, and once you accomplish that, then everything else will fall into place because you'll be willing to put in time and effort into it. So, how many times a week can you work out? 2, 3, 4, 5 times a week, okay? This is important. With fat loss, you can get away with probably 2 workouts a week, all right? Especially 3 days, it's enough. You're already on a calorie deficit. You're just gonna need to put in what you need to do. There's a lot of different ways to hit fat loss. You could do high volume to burn up a lot of calories. You could do a lot of low volume and heavy lifts to maintain strength and try to maintain more muscle mass. And at the same time, use more sprinting intervals and things like that to lose body fat. It still comes down to your diet regardless of what method you choose. That's why no matter what method you choose, fucking works. How long? How long? I've had people tell me many times, oh, no problem, I can train every day for lunch. All right, and so then when I explain to them, like, okay, you're gonna have to warm up. Well, I don't warm up, bro, it's okay. No, it's not okay. You need to warm up, or you're gonna get hurt. You're not about to fucking work out no more. All right, so you have to consider your warm-up times. What if it's a 30-year-old? What if it's a 40-year-old? What if it's a 30-year-old or a 40-year-old who doesn't work out? So now their warm-up is probably like 15 minutes long because they're not even used to moving, all right? You got people like me who are so beat up from competing in sports throughout the years that sometimes my warm-ups are like 20 minutes. And so I have to self-auto-regulate my program so fast on the fly every day, which you do no matter what, that sometimes I can't get the volume or I can't get the workload that I expected to get in that day. I may have to adjust everything and put it on to another day and so on. But for a basis of just understanding what I'm trying to get across to you, you have to take into account your warm-up and other issues so you can figure out how much time it's actually going to take for you to work out. What's the other issues? Mobility issues, all right? Now, mobility issues can be worked 2 different ways. You can use it as a warm-up, which does help drastically because you need to get the body moving and functioning more properly. But you can also incorporate them while you're exercising. So you can do a set of, say, something for your upper body and then do a mobility exercise for your lower body. I do this a lot. This helps me get all the extra work I need to get in, makes me feel fantastic, and I'm not just sitting there wasting time sitting on the bench staring at my watch, all right? Or like a tard and staring at my phone and then realizing that 5 minutes went by and I messed up my rest cycles. All right. But how much time do you have? Like once I incorporate that I have to warm up and I have to do my mobility work, that might be 20 minutes. That only leaves me like 40 minutes of time to work. Why only 40 minutes? Well, science shows that every time you break that 45-minute, especially that 1 hour mark, cortisol levels rise, all right? Cortisol levels rise. When cortisol rises, it starts eating up your muscle, okay? So, I mean, you can get away with taking certain supplements, but still, science is science, all right? So, you don't want to exceed that 1 hour mark. Now, that 1 hour mark is 1 hour of true work time, okay? I wouldn't count warming up and mobility work, all right? I mean, unless you're just breaking a sweat and you're dying, then you might want to consider that part as your workload. But you don't want to go past the 1 hour mark. It's just a good rule of thumb. Rule of thumb, y'all should look up that story. I'm not gonna waste y'all's time. It's a cool story. All right. Do you have 20 minutes to work out, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, or 60 minutes? If you got 60 minutes every day on lunch, like we talked about earlier, it may not be a big deal. But if you got 20 minutes, that might be a big deal. So I've known people to do this where they've actually started warming up at work. Well, I guess people saw them, I don't know. But you know, doing things that kind of help them facilitate the warm up, get to the gym, do a little quick 5-minute warm up, a whole bunch of ramping sets, warm up sets of the same exercise they're about to do at lighter weights, and then able to kind of knock it out. Now, also, if you're cramped with time, which I guess would be like the next video, would be more of like how to actually construct the workout, okay? So number one, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. If you're on a 20 or 30-minute workout, you are not doing isolation movements. You're doing all compound movements whatsoever, okay? So even if your goal is to get big, you must be spending all your time on the compound movements at that point. If your goal is fat loss, you want to be spending all your time on compound movements regardless. And if your goal is strength, well, you're definitely not spending your time on isolation movements. You're definitely most likely doing all compound movements regardless, because isolation is only to help you assist as helping you maintain that strength level that you're trying to obtain, such as like, you know, doing dips and close strength bench presses and things like that, like if you are working as far as a power lifter for building a better bench, okay? So, you know, they won't even really call it arm work, they really just call it accessory work. So you need to determine those common factors. You also need to determine the common factors because if it is fat loss, you may get away with these short workouts because you can do like metabolic conditioning circuits, things like that. That's if you are physically able to do it. I just had a conversation last Saturday while I was watching one of the football games, and this guy was messaging me on Instagram. Long story short, we got into a conversation and the guy was trying to lose weight and this and that, and he was doing circuits and stuff, and it seems all great. So when I'm reading him, like, well, he's doing the right stuff, and then I go to his personal page and I take a look at him, and I'm watching him doing certain videos, and I mean, no disrespect whatsoever, but he could not use proper form. And so one of the things he was telling me was that his lower back would begin to hurt and this and that when he was doing his complexes. And I mean, I can tell you right now, and I told him, I was like, it's because you're losing form. You can't do it correctly, all right? So one of the problems is metabolic conditioning can cause so much exertion and so much tiredness over the body that when you lose proper form, that's when you start hurting yourself. So I told him to just go to more of a strict basic workout and remember that his diet's really gonna cause him to lose weight. All right, so that's a big long story. All right, so take a look at these factors. That's for part 2 of programming the proper workout. Stay tuned for part 3.